They call me Blue Thunder. I'm the Eastern Shoshone from Wind River Indian Reservation, and we're working on earth wisdom, earth knowledge through my website at www.teton-rainbows.com and Earth Wisdom Foundation, working with spiritual messages to speak the truth. As nations unite within souls that we walk is bringing great clarity to the wisdom of the earth, and working with the energies called medicine and power of the life force of the earth. As we begin to move forward in the forthcoming days, there's been many dreams that came to talk about how to heal the earth. And for myself, I met Chandra back, Rose of Light, a few months ago. And so since then, we've been working to continue to heal these sacred sites, to bring humanity pure water, pure food, pure air, pure electrical magnetic energy in the fire grids, which is these energy lines known as ley lines. That's represented through vortexmaps.com with the work, with the books, the information. Is a great place to gather these things. So Dan Shaw represents this information. So through those things, I like to rephrase information about dreams and visions about healing the earth and from the Grand Tetons in Wyoming, which is the sacred sites of the Shoshone nations, which are of the Uto-Aztecan Maya Aztec peoples. And there's 28 groups that speak the same language. Hopis are one of them. So are the Maya, Aztec, Serranos, Senios, Comanches, Paiutes, 28 groups. So through that, we work with these energies in the past. But because what happened in history, many people forgot in the tribal nations because of 7 generations of atrocities and imprinted them to take them out of the sacred walk that they once walked. And so what we're doing now is to open up these areas on earth that carry lots of chakra and energy. So these are the spinning 7 colors of light. People know them by Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And those are the chakras. And so with Chandra, she works with these chakra areas. And so through 19 plus 1 equals 20 ceremony on May 8, 2004, we opened up many chakra areas to promote clean air, water, the earth, and to heal the volcanic action in Yellowstone, where the scientists said, or were saying if it did, there was possibilities that it could explode. And many people were having dreams. Since we did that ceremony, the volcanic activity went down, rains and water, springs opened in many areas around the Grand Tetons, which was 600 miles away. That meant that was 1,200 miles north and south, 1,200 miles east and west. And so because of doing those kinds of things, we protected a powerful volcano that could have exploded, that would have put a ring of dust around the earth for 2 years if it did explode, and annihilated that 600-mile radius circle called a 19 plus 1 equals 20. But that dream came in the 1980s. I had saw a dream, and the vision showed that there were many places that would be utilized, these circles spinning, and I saw Sundance lodges and one in the center. So this represented the Grand Tetons, and 19 points around I saw Sundances at that time. But at that time, that was over 20 years ago. So now, in 1999, I was given messages to help heal this place with the Sundance, and other things took place. But now here we are again, with new information, new people coming through like Chandra to help bring other information in about the chakras of the earth. So we healed that energy at that time, and now Chandra is here talking about the chakras of the earth, which is those 19 sacred points, which has many chakras of the earth are now beginning to open, and more wisdom and knowledge is being shared with this means. So she has this wisdom, and because of a lady who flew over the mountains, Dorothy Leone, she saw this pattern, and I saw that pattern in my dream over 20 years ago. Then when I saw it on the internet one day, and then a friend of mine was sitting there, and she said, "What does this represent to you?" And I said, "It represents a dream I had." And so I looked at it, and I knew what it was. And then all of a sudden, a rock art picture popped to me and said this was the same thing. So I put the rock art picture in my dream and that image that was put together, and then went to work. And we did the work on May 8, 2004. Volcano subsided, and we protected the Earth from a powerful explosion that could have annihilated the Earth. And those were the messages that came from all around the world from many people, the black, the white, the yellow, and the red nations, including the brown nations. The Aborigines sent messages. And so they all supported around the world on that day. So here we are now, doing more work on these 19 points on the circle with Dan Shaw under vortexmaps.com, and with Chandra with her Rose of Light work that she's doing, and she has a website also, so she could maybe explain what that is. And I'd like her to explain about the chakras and how they represent the 19 plus 1 equals 20, and what it does for the Earth and for our bodies that connect the same one, because what the Earth is what we are.
Exactly.
So
my name is Chandra, Rose of Light, and I'm currently living in Pennsylvania, but I come from the Great Central Sun. And my major work this time around is with the Divine Feminine, and particularly with the chakra systems. And my work with Blue Thunder has brought it all into a new level. And just yesterday, I made another correlation between Blue Thunder's work and my work. So even though we've only recently met, these Divine Feminine chakras that I've been working with, I noticed that they began to wake up and come back online immediately following the May 8th, 2004 date of the 19 plus 1 medicine wheel that was done. And I did know about that back then. I had heard about it. I'd like to say just a little bit about the chakra systems. Most people know that we have 7 basic chakras, from the root chakra up to the crown, the rainbow. But what many people don't know is that there's a lot more. And these chakras extend way up above our head, and they also extend way down below our feet. The chakra system that has been known for centuries, for millennia, I consider it to only be half of what we have. And it's the masculine half. It starts where the male organs are, and it goes up. We also have a complementing system that is intended to balance the masculine system, and it should come as no surprise that it starts where the female organs are, and it goes deep. And this system was completely locked down. It was shut down, dormant. It had gatekeepers and guardians that kept everybody out of it, and they were cloaked, so nobody even knew it was there. The only reason I knew it was there was because a teacher that I had that taught me about the the higher dimensional chakras up through chakra number 15 and up to 33, he told me that they were there. But that was it. He just said they were there. And it wasn't until quite a few years after my work with him had ended that they began to come online, because at the time that I heard about them, they were still dormant. Now, the chakra system that I work with, I suppose there are many models, but the model that I'm working with through the 5th dimension goes from 1 to 33. So there's 33 high, and there are 33 deep in the Divine Feminine. At the moment, most of humanity is still just beginning to open these chakras. We've been doing work that is supporting all of humanity, beginning to open and activate these chakras. And just to explain the difference between an open chakra and an activated chakra, open means that it can receive. It's kind of like a radio station where it can receive signals when it's open, and it can also send out signals when it's activated. So if your chakras are open, you can be receiving. But it's only when you become activated in a given chakra that you can begin to send out from that chakra, send out that energy into your world, and begin to have an impact on your world. So the activated chakras are really the energy system, the structure through which we create in this earth realm. So as we are opening and activating these chakras, we become able to have a greater and greater impact on where we live. Now let's come back to balancing these masculine chakras with the feminine chakras. Um, we're working on opening into the fifth dimension and getting the whole planet operational in the fifth dimension. That's where the new world is, the new earth, the prophecies that have foretold this new time coming. The whole planet is upscaling into the fifth dimension, and in order for us to go with her, we've got to get our chakra system online in that dimension. So in the model that I work with, the first 18 chakras are in the fourth dimension. The fifth dimensional chakras begin at 19 through 33. So when we put the masculine and the feminine together, we actually have 66 chakras in the system. And as Blue Thunder was mentioning earlier, the earth and our bodies are really one and the same. So as we're working with our chakras, we are also helping Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, to open her chakras. And as she is opening her chakras, she is also helping us to open our chakras. We are one and the same. We are one. And that's really where we're moving in this whole movement into the new Earth. We're moving into oneness with Gaia.
What I'd like to add to the information is that the male feminine energies of the chakras she's talking about is representing that the earth needs to receive information and also give information out. That brings the water, the rain back in. Whatever it needs, it will get it, no more, no less. This helps alleviate the volcanoes, the droughts, the high winds, the hurricanes. All of nature's disasters are needed to fix the earth and keep it in harmony, because we have passed the 50% mark, that half of the world's consciousness now has risen, we believe. And because of many things that's happening, the more consciousness of the people awakening will help add to the chakra systems, or the sacred vortex areas that are spinning with feminine and masculine energy, because the earth is like what we are, many chakras, many colors of light. So the earth is a bright diamond and a crystal vibrating in the universe. And when we cut holes in her, that lowers Mother Earth's heart energy, that gives us our heart energy. So Mother Earth's bleeding heart energy leaks out of the earth when a road or a highway or a cut is put into her surface, or she's being bombed or dynamited or dug into for minerals, for gold, silver, wealth. Plucking from the tree of life is the fruit of Mother Earth. We were told not to do certain things. And given this information as indigenous nations and all nations, so it's in the Bible, it says do not pluck from the tree of life. The silver, the gold, the clay, the rubies, the diamonds, the emeralds, the people would turn into the darkness, turn towards the darkness, and that's what's happened. And so when they pluck from the tree of life, the water's going away, the rain, the drought, the fires because it's so hot, the bark beetle infestation, you name it, nature is retaliating, and messages say that if we do not take care of the gifts Mother gives to us, they will be taken away because what we've done. And now is the time to reflect upon this. And those who do not take care of their areas, their gifts will be taken away that Mother has given to them to share freely, she says. She gives the wind, she gives the water, she gives the soil, she gives the food, she gives the animals, she gives the trees. She gives us all the fruit to survive, to sustain ourselves. And if we're not going to take care of them, then she says she will take them back to the fires, the droughts, the tornadoes, the floods, the earthquakes. And it's happening now. And the thing is to take this into consideration, to remember that now is the time that we'll work together for peace, love, and harmony, and learn about the chakras, learn about our holy selves, our holy beings of light, to the heart of the rose, to the rose of light, pink love, to the colors that we all represent, peace, underneath the white sacred light, to the hand of peace. And these are the ways and how we can do this, is the messages of the wisdom, that it is here now for us to recognize and remember. So these are some very beautiful days we're in. Mother Earth is so beautiful, and she said she will respond to us once we sit in a circle and connect all of the circles together in oneness. We will become those children who will inherit a beautiful planet, a beautiful place as she ascends now, going towards 2012. In the forthcoming days, those of us who do the work on the earth will inherit a very beautiful place that we're going to. When we heal the sacred sites and these chakra areas, these vortices, these spiraling energies that charge the earth with the life force, the cables are being disconnected of the charge of the earth that charges Mother Earth's heart, bursting energy she gives to us through our feet and Father through our heads. Male and feminine masculine energies, we will inherit the earth. We who repair these areas and the lands that we have, the earth will not shift there. All the gifts we have will be ours to utilize as she gives them freely. As we heal these sacred places that was given to us during the times that earth was once in oneness, during the times of Lemuria and Atlantis, before they warred and fought each other over materialistic views and attitudes and egos and who could control each other. As we prepare now and have been working on healing these sacred temples of union, it's the women energies that will teach us and the masculine that will be balanced. This side loves each other. So through the temple of union, our sister was at a ceremony, Chandra, so she understands what this means.
I wanted to speak a little bit about the temple. We've been doing ceremonies at a place called the Temple of Union, but I also want to speak about the body temple, because this body that we have, I've always known, even since I was a child, that it is the temple of the Holy Spirit. But it was only as I began to work with the chakras that and when I got pretty far along with that I realized how completely true that statement is, that we are the temple of the Holy Spirit. And the chakra system itself forms a temple. It is the structure. And the 66 chakras that I mentioned earlier, the 33 in the masculine system that go up, and the 33 in the feminine system that go deep, these form what I call the fifth dimensional temple, the living temple of the Holy Spirit. And this is the place, this is the dwelling place for our mighty I Am presence, our God self that comes in through our higher self. Once we gain access to our higher self, this higher self, this I Am presence, can come in and indwell in this temple that we have created, this structure that we have opened up for it to dwell here. And this is what we create through. So we are literally creating heaven on earth through our I Am presence, through working through our temple, our holy temple, our living temple of the Holy Spirit. So part of my work in this life is to assist people in getting that temple opened and activated. You already have it in place. It's already there. It's like you've been living in a two-room bungalow, and really you have this mansion, and it has lots of rooms in it, at least 66. And I'll come along and help you, take you around on a tour of your mansion and show you these rooms, and take my little skeleton key and open the doors and show you the magnificence that's in there, this magnificence that is you. We are all magnificent, infinite beings of love and light. And we're just having a human experience. Part of us is having a human experience here, exploring in this realm.
So what is your website?
My website is thechakraworks.com, www.thechakraworks.com. And I also have some online communities or online networks where I share with people about my work.
All right, well, thank you. I'd like to mention too that as Native Americans, we're doing ceremonies, but we're not selling ceremonies. If we do work, we freely. So we ask people to help us get to these places and get back with unconditional ways of getting here and there, and unconditional ways of asking for help and to help us do this work. And so other nations and other groups do workshops and they charge for these things. For us as Native Americans, we're never to charge or to do the work, and the people who would understand that would now help us travel, make funds, finances, donations, those things through offerings from their hearts, He says, if they have love, a lot of love, they have a lot of finances, they'll give back what they've gotten, that they've taken from the earth and have not shared equally. They will share with us, and these are the messages that says that with Chandra's work, my work, Dan Shaw's work, with our organizations, that the people would share these funds freely now and help us get to place, because with this indigenous nations, if I would do workshops, sell them, $30, $100, $300 per person, that means the poorest person couldn't get in. And the poorest person may have the most sacred work to do, and they wouldn't recognize it until they got the information to awaken them to the consciousness, to be enlightened. It would be a shame for them not to be able to get there. So that's why we're told never to sell ceremonies and leave anyone out. And if we charge, we're not letting those in. Is the meek will inherit the earth. And they will, because it's the freedom is here. All ceremonies are open and free to all beings, all people that come to the ceremonies that we represent. And of course, there's funds and monies that people want to donate them. And I pray that those others will be enlightened and that they will understand this, especially the indigenous nations. This is a time to change from the old ways of the past, of their thinking patterns. And that old ways is 7 generations. Now the oldest ways past that is what was represented in peace. And they're following a pattern of the last 7 generations, which is the way of not allowing them to move forward. So they're stuck like Chandra has mentioned, they're stuck in a pattern like in a 6th grade and not going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And that means all cultures, all nations. So we ask them to get out of the 6th grade and move forward. Let the feelings of Columbus go, the feelings of the genocide, the feelings of all these kinds of attitudes and historical things that's happened to us through this genocidal things that's happened to us, is to let it go now, because it's not serving a purpose, but only to hold us back and not move forward. That means our souls will not be protected as we move into the 5th dimensional world around the date of 2012. So it's very important for all nations, not only indigenous nations, to consider that and to really realize that we are the ones we've been waiting for. That those famous words that's been said now for many years now from the Hopis and other peoples who made these words. So it doesn't make any difference who put the words out or where it came from or utilizes these words. The difference is it means that we're working in oneness, and not to have jealousy if people use this information or that information, that all information is to be used freely and given freely, because it has came freely. And the messages say people now think they own it and have copyrights, and it's not, don't want to give it to each other, so that would cause separations. It's taking place. So we ask the oneness to happen.
Would you say a little bit about the portal of the ages that's opening up? Because I've heard you speak about that before. How when it opened up once before, only certain people were able to go through because they couldn't leave certain things behind, and we're having another opportunity for that portal way to open to go into the next dimension. Could you speak a little bit about that?
Yes, I can. The story came a while back from our indigenous nations. It speaks about 5,500 years ago, there was a portal that was opened when we came back onto the earth as the flood went away, that those who came through the portal into the next world, the 4th world, those who would come in without greed, anger, hatred, jealousy, would have a beautiful world in that time period, in that portal. And so the only ones who came through without greed and materialistic views and values were the indigenous nations. So what happened was, those who the white nations came through with the greed. They brought their materialistic views and ideas and tried to come through with their diamonds, their rubies, their gold, their silver. And when they came through, they failed. So in the 4th world, that's why we're in the materialistic world. And the indigenous nations are not into materialism, so they're looked at as poor. But they carry the wisdom of purity, of sacredness, giving things freely, because they didn't bring in materialism with them as they came into that Stargate 5,500 years ago. And so this is what we're going to go through again around the year 2012. Only those who go through that Stargate, or that opening of a new vibration and a time portal type thing that's going to happen, those who go through there without materialistic views and ideas of angers, hatreds, jealousies, and pains, leave those behind, will make it into a beautiful place. The other ones who don't, they'll be trapped into a lower dimensional vibrational world.
Well, it occurs to me that this may be the major reason that so many of the spiritual people are really struggling with the whole money thing,
Yes.
with the whole having. But if those who are spiritual have not been able to have much materially, maybe that makes it a lot easier for us to go through that portal this time.
Yes, and when they would share those monies and get rid of them, then they would learn that the more they give away is the more they'll get back anyway. So that means that would alleviate them from being in a materialistic world by giving back what they have that they're holding through greed.
Mm-hmm.
And they would alleviate the greed, and now they would share everything together, and then all that materialistic views and values would go away, because now that would bring people together by sharing all wealth and wisdom and knowledge. And then we would release all of that and go into the next beautiful Stargate.
It reminds me of the parable of when Jesus was asked by the rich man how to get to heaven, and Jesus said to him that it was easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven. And I learned sometime later that referred specifically to a gate into Jerusalem, which was called the Eye of a Needle. And it was so small that in order for a camel to go through it, the camel would have to get down on its knees and would have to be completely unburdened. They'd have to take all of the burdens off of the camel, and the camel would have to go through that hole on its knees, so completely unburdened. And that was what Jesus was referring to. For those who have possessions would have to do to get on their knees and to let go of all of their possessions and go through the portal.
And that's what we're going to do again, for those who choose to make it into that beautiful planet. It's called Heaven Upon Earth for the white nations, and for the indigenous nations they call it the happy hunting grounds, where all things is given. You go out and hunt for whatever you need, food, resources, love, peace, harmony is there. And that's where everything will be for us, as that vibration is put together for us who choose to prove ourselves that we will go through that needle. And that's what we're representing now, asking all our brothers, relatives, cousins, families, brothers, sisters to awaken. Now is the time to go through the needle and leave those things behind. If they don't, they won't make it through. But remember, the messages say our lives are forever, our spirit is forever, or we are immortal, and we're born over and over. And in the book of records, it looks, when we pass away, they look in there. It's being written every day, and whatever our actions are is what world we're going to get sent into. And so these are the times now that it's very important for all nations to consider what this means. But those who don't consider that, the messages say, remember, they are our teachers, so they came to teach us what not to do. And they sacrificed their lives for us. And they help us get into the heavenly place, the happy hunting grounds, the sacred places that people talk about, that Stargate, to that eye of the needle. That's where we're going, and whatever dimension and doorway that needle takes us to, through that doorway, represents our actions and our thoughts in the book of records. That's where we go. So releasing all negativity, positivity, to be neutral about all things, peaceful, loving, caring individuals, sacred beings of light, to get into the light of the sacredness of the Great Spirit, who set that dimensional doorway for us to get into. That's where we're headed. So all things are beautiful on the earth. There's nothing wrong. So those are some of the messages that we're asking many to take into consideration, and hold nothing personally or personal on anyone or ourselves, or we'll have to pay the consequences. Right now is the time, because anyone who does that, they'll knock themselves down, because they're going to be going against the force of the energy of the Great Spirit's law, universal laws, spiritual laws, known as nature's laws. Nature's laws work that way. And the indigenous nations have that to teach, and the other nations are arriving with the wisdom too. So many have been born in other nations now, and they're awakening. And the children are very special, because they are the new healers and the leaders of the earth. The messages say, listen to what they say, listen to what they have to teach, for they have the wisdom that's missing. And change your ways and follow the children.